I'm joined by a returning member to the Rolled Up family. He made his label debut alongside Cadillac with their track Anything, which released as part of the Rolled Up Winter Vibes mixtape this past February, and now he's back providing some warmer sounds for the summer. Here's PopeJohn.
So, my first question to you is, how long have you been pursuing music?
Drum and bass has been a passion of mine from the moment I was introduced to it. Growing up in Florida, I was surrounded by Florida breaks, and that was really the main Florida breaks, and trance was the big, that was the EDM draw back in the late 90s. And so I've been passionately following music for well over 23 years now.
Okay. Now, is there any track in particular or artist that drew you to it at an early age?
Yeah, I mean, Andy C, Goldie, all the True Players. I loved everything from True Players back in the day. That was my favorite stuff. Yeah. I don't know. It can go down a whole list, but yeah, I mean, growing up, Aphrodite was one of the first big ones that caught my ear, and then as I matured and my taste for the music matured, I got into a lot of other Bad Company and Renegade Hardware were staples of mine growing up. There are a few producers that you don't see around as much anymore, like Twisted Individual, and you still see Original Sin come out with things quite a bit, but Original Sin, Twisted Individual, there's a lot of jump up stuff back in the early days that some of the artists just aren't with us anymore. Marcus Intellect, huge influence.
Right. So this track in particular that's out now on the Summer Vibes Mixtape Volume 2 Compilation A, what was the inspiration behind the tune? And then what was the production process like for it? Was it something that came together quickly? Was it something that took a few sessions? Tell me about that.
Ultimately, this was something I wanted to accomplish vocally. I don't use a lot of vocals, don't use a lot of vocals in my tune, and I wanted to really try to push to create a melody / a little harmonic rhythm with the vocals, and that's really where I was trying to go with that. And my style typically blends to be like a down-tempo roller, if you will, and I think this fits that vibe really well.
Okay, that's actually a good segue into my next question. How do you feel like this track kind of conveys the theme of the mixtape overall?
I mean, it's definitely got the reggae but the dub vibe, and nothing says summer like dub vibes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could definitely hear that as well. So, John, another question I have is, what does it mean to you to release on Rolled Up Records, and how do you feel about the buzz that it's created within the American drum and bass scene so far, within its first, little over a year now of operation?
Oh man, Rolled Up Records it's not a record label, man. It's so much more than that to me at this point. It's a group of individuals that have opened their arms and their knowledge, shared their knowledge with me. And, I'm forever grateful. This group of guys is exactly what I've been looking for a while in terms of camaraderie, constant pushing in a positive way, constant sharing of knowledge. It's a beautiful thing. I think that's translating as a whole to the US DMV scene. I think the scene is getting a lot smaller in terms of the ability to connect. So it's a lot easier to connect with people than it has been in the past. And I really think that's what's driving this US DMV push right now. The West Coast, they've always been known for their heavy jungle and in-your-face type style, and I think it's well due time that Florida shows up and shows them a little bit of funk and the rolled up way.
Yeah, man, I agree, and it to me personally, I feel like it's been really cool to see something like this grow as much as it has in such a short amount of time. And, you know, like having recently have a track be rinsed at Liquicity Festival, I think that's like amazing. And like you said, it seems like everybody involved with the label works well together. And like, I know me personally working with them, it's definitely taught me a lot of new things because I've never been on this side of the music industry before, and everybody's just been so welcoming and either helping me out or giving me advice or just being there for anything whenever I need them. So yeah, I think they've got a really good thing going here, and it doesn't seem like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just so important that everybody is just genuine, and you get that without question. The egos are there, but they're a positive ego-driven. You know, we know we can do better. We know we can accomplish, you know, anything we set out to. And the way this group comes together, you can't help but be motivated. You know, you can't help to want to create and want to be a part of that.
Right, I know exactly what you mean. And like, to touch on the point you just made, it's cool to see that, you know, there's friendly competition within the label, because like, you know, there can be those instances where somebody might be ego driven, but with the label as a whole, everybody, you know, they just want the best for each other, which I love to see.
And it's the camaraderie within not just Rolled Up, but everybody else's other labels. You know, it's a true support. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Rolled Up. It's just you're supporting each other, and you're supporting the music. You're supporting the growth of the thing we love, the thing we're most passionate about. So it only makes sense.
Absolutely.
And it surprises me that it's taken this long to, you know, get a group like this together, you know?
Right. Yeah, man, I agree. So my next question would be, I gotta ask, what made you decide on the name PopeJohn?
You know, it's more of a tongue-in-cheek. You know, I really haven't dipped into the marketing side of that like I'd like to. You know, I like to skirt the blasphemous slash you know, tongue-in-cheek comedy side of it. You know, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in everybody having their own opinion on their spirituality and their religious preferences, but I picked PopeJohn specifically to make fun of slash slightly ostracize the Catholic religion. You know, so, you know, I wanted to be the good Pope preaching the gospel of drum and bass. So
I was just gonna say, like, that right there is a nice little tongue-in-cheek reference to what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm the pontiff of popes.
So, aside from that, I guess my last question to you would be, what can we expect from you moving forward? I know that you and I are actually on a lineup together coming up here on July 28th. We're playing support for Reflector, and you're actually playing direct support, which is really cool. I can't wait to perform with you, by the way. Aside from that, though, do you have any other projects? Do you have any other projects in the works, or anything you'd like to mention?
Yeah, expect lots of music. Expect my sound to grow. I expect I'm really starting to find and dig into a sound and a rhythm of my own that I'm excited to share. Additionally, got some hope to be playing out in Florida a couple shows this rest of this year, in Orlando and possibly Jacksonville. Waiting to solidify those dates. But beyond that, got an EP coming out on Rolled Up Records, so that's exciting.
Looking forward to it, man. John, thank you again for your time, and you have a good one.